Shalom Akim, Yahba Shim Yahushai Barakdam, Bashim Kwakwadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Newstone who rule well. This is the brother Menashe DC Camp with a brief lesson to edify the sincere Habakkuk of Israel doing the work of Yahba Shim Yahushai with all diligence and sincerity of mind. So know that this past Sunday, the so-called comic book creator and one of those illuminated members of Esau Society, Stan Lee, he passed away. Folks know that Stan Lee is much more, it's not an ordinary person when it comes to comic books and movies and all that stuff, because we know he's just in, and it has a lot of insight as far, the nature of the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the spiritual, the four corners of the earth. That's how he's based his success. That's what he based his success on. The Holy Scriptures. So you could tell, he made so much money, and now the old man passed away. Now they're talking about, how great he was as an individual. But hey, the guy was a warlock, was a witch. But that doesn't really take away from the point that, that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites, and that the Lord is going to bless them in these last days with spiritual power. Because all he had to do in his comic book, is talk about spiritual, superpowers, regular, everyday people and bombs just having some extraordinary powers. So I just play this video, and then it doesn't have the sound in it, but it's better than being a leech. So you got a Green Goblin, you got Spider-Man, you got the Avengers, you got X-Men. Yep. So, his last name is not really Lee, but it's a different name, so you can always look that up. So Fantastic Four, because the scriptures, it's a source of inspiration to a lot of these movie producers. And what they really do is like to do their research and have their what you call the excavations take place, and then they get the information and they just drop a few lines here and there in the movies, and then people just overlook it. But for those that are in the know, especially the elders, of Great Millstone, the men of the Lord, they understand that what's at stake. That's why we go out there on the highways and byways and do the will of Yahweh Shim Yahushai. So you could tell, man, Stan Lee is no regular person, man. He's just in, he's of the devil anyway, but hey, the truth is the truth, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israel that the Bible speaks of. And then I'll get some scriptures, to go into. So this is the book of Second Ezra, right? So you go to chapter 6 and read from verse 27 to 28. So it says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched." So all this veil that Esau's been putting on the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's gonna be scratched away by the Lord. That's why the scriptures, the Holy Spirit of the Lord is pushing throughout the four corners of the earth, man. More Israelites are waking up. The heathens beginning to understand what's going on. And now Esau is gonna start pulling all kind of gimmicks, paying off his agents and agent provocateurs. Whether they call themselves so-called Israelites, whether they're heathens, they want to come against the work. So verse 27 says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. Now that the Holy Scriptures is coming out, these elites are angry, they're pissed off, they're nervous. They're looking at ways they could disturb the word of the Lord from going forward. But the Lord has already said the gates of hell shall not prevail. So the foundation of this work is true. And that foundation is Yahweh Shai. All right. And the brother, that had his wife tell him about the 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 dream, of the incident of the patient she was watching, that he died, and then he had a journey in the spirit world, and then he saw what Israelites had to had to inherit. It was like, wow, spiritual power, they're like godlike, So hey, it's just about the same time, man, that Stanley died, man. Once the brother talked about the vision his wife had that works in the hospital concerning the Edomite that saw the future of Israel. It was like, wow, it's just about, I think it was Sunday this past Sunday. So, it's going to happen, man. And then it says, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. And that is exactly what we are experiencing now. You know, there's no doubt, man. There's no doubt that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And there's no contest, man. These other folks, they can't really debate it. They don't have the evidence. They don't have the faith to come against this work. So they're going to make up false accusations. All right? And the Lord is just going to confound them the more they come against this work. So one more precept, and then move over to the Old Testament. Well, that's from the book of Job and Isaiah. So this is the book of Second Ezra. All right. So it says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in great number. And that's what Stanley's, if you look at the X-Men, if you look at Spider-Man, it's always some tragic event that's always happening, man. Chaos, 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 man. Chaos, you know, chaos, man. Any movie that's like concerning superhero, there always gotta be chaos, man. Violence, you know, the Infinity War, X-Men Last Stand, X2, X-Men, it's always chaos. Even the Superman, you know, there's always chaos, man. So a lot of folks, man, are gonna die in these last days, and that's a sign of the times, man. You know, but at the same time, it's gonna be a great time for the elect, because your faith is gonna be boosted to a different level, a higher level than what we see now. And once they have that spiritual power, or you're gonna see the true colors of these Edomites come true, man. Because Stanley already talked about it in his movies. How the government will be pissed off about folks having all this extra terrestrial powers doing certain things. They're gonna start getting angry and pissed off, agitated and jealous. Falsifying all kinds of truths. You know that they want to push to the people. So anyway, it's not gonna work. So it says, they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So time of Jacob's trouble is not going to be an easy time, man. The word of the Lord is going to be scarce. Those that need it will be the ones that get it, but for the ones that have been condemned, they won't have it. So that's the point. And then you go to the book of Job, man. Job chapter 31. And then That's right. Job chapter 31. It says, "Oh, that one will hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty will answer me, and that my adversary had written a book." So, Stanley read so many comic books, man, concerning the nature of the Israelite man, talking about the folks that are wacky in the bombs and the ghetto. Then they wake up one morning, they have a certain events happen to them in their life. All of a sudden, they discover they have spiritual power. They discover that they have gifts, and then they try to hide it like, oh man, they start sticking out like a sore thumb. That's exactly what Stanley's writings are all about, man. All about making money of the nature of the Israelites, man. The men of the Lord have been blessed with power, and the conflict and the sellout and all that stuff. The so-called Hegelian dialectic. So it's no strange mystery, man. It's a good thing to understand what's going on. You can read all the books you want, but at the end of the day, man, it's not going to change, your perspective of what the Lord is going to do, because you already have that foundation that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has promised salvation to his elect and captivity for his heathens, you know. So I say it's important to know that you can't run away from who you are. The Lord has made you an Israelite from the beginning of time. You're always going to be an Israelite. You can't avoid that, man. It's a blessing to be an Israelite. It's a position of responsibility. So I get one last precept. So this is Isaiah chapter 45, verses 3 and 4. It says, "And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places." All right. So you're going to be blessed beyond your imagination, man. Beyond Stan Lee's imagination. Beyond the governments of this world, beyond what they could ever think of, man. Because what they see up there with their telescopes on the satellites is nothing compared to what the future is going to be like for the Israelites, man. All right. And then it says that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the power of Israel. So we're going to rise in these last days, man. We're going to rise to the top. We're going to be tested. We're going to be purified. And our enemies shall be found liars. And shame is going to cover them. All right. So the last line in verse 4 says, For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. All right. So the time of being asleep is over, man. This is a time of the great awakening. And that's exactly what we're going to be experiencing very soon, man. Lots of Israelites are going to wake up to who they are, the valley of dry bones, America, the dry bones, nation of Israel. All right. So it's going to happen, man, because the passing of Stanley is an omen, man. It's an omen. You're going to see what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai promised his disciples, that they shall, trample upon, snakes, serpents and scorpions, man. That they will have an upper hand in these last days. So I say, Ka Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kwakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone who rule well. It's a beautiful thing, man, to know that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will guide us through these dark times. And I can stay faithful, stay humble, and that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will guide you through. Shalom.